What's going on YouTube? This is JabberTech, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts and my kind of months later review on using the Google Pixel 5 as my daily driver over the past couple of months. This is something that replaced a higher end flagship device, and was it worth it? Do I miss anything from that other device? How's the battery life and how's everything else holding up with the Pixel 5? Well, I'm going to tell you guys, so let's get into it. The Google Pixel 5 is a phone that, on paper, is not a flagship device. On paper, this does not have the latest and greatest specs that were released in 2020 on basically every other flagship device that came out. Google took a little bit of a different strategy and they went for their, I'm going to call it a mid-ship device. This is their flagship device because it is their flagship, but it kind of has mid-ish type of specs in it. So you have the 765G processor. It is a 5G capable phone. You have 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage, IP68 dust and water resistance, and it also has a really nice aluminum frame with the bioresin on the top, with wireless charging as well, which Jerry Rig exposed on his channel. So now we finally know how it works. And what I like about this overall design, what I like about the overall material choices that Google has made, this is not a fragile device anymore. This is not a device that you have to baby. The aluminum frame with tempered glass on the top means that you don't really have to worry about it all that much. Now, if you don't live in a major metropolitan area or if you don't have kids around, that's probably something you don't worry about. Having a glass-on-glass sandwich phone, I always had to put a bulky case in, but I'm really happy to say that now with the Pixel 5, the only thing I have to do is use a thin case, and I actually like Google's fabric case. This is the case that I've been using when I've been commuting, but sometimes I am crazy. Sometimes I just go out and I have my phone raw dog in my hand and I'm not really too concerned about it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Maybe I get a little bit of a dent, but that's a lot better than replacing an entire back that's been shattered. So well done for Google for giving us a higher grade, built tough type of phone. I'm hoping to see this design on a lot more flagships in the future because honestly, I think it would be hard to go back to an all glass sandwich. That's just my opinion. If you have this phone, let me know how it's held up if you didn't use a case. Other than that, guys, I really like the screen. It's a smaller screen than what I was using before. My previous phone was the OnePlus 8 Pro, and that was a big phone. That was a heavy phone. The Pixel 5, I did a complete 180. I went to a smaller phone, I went to a lighter phone, and I went from the 120Hz on the 8 Pro to a 90Hz panel, which most of the time does revert back to 60 to save battery, but I'm okay with that personally. I don't really see much of a difference between 90 and 120 at all. If I go back to a regular 60Hz display, I do see a difference, but from 90 to 120, it's not really something that I see on a daily basis. Speaking of the 6-inch panel though, it's a very vibrant panel. It's a really, really nice panel. It gets dim enough to use at night, so you're not going to blind anyone around you or yourself when you're in complete darkness. And during the day, outside in the sun, again, I have no issues looking at this screen. So I think Google put a really nice display on the Google Pixel 5. There's hardly any bezels on the Pixel 5. They did a really nice job slimming down this device and giving us a modern looking Pixel for once. Every other Pixel had something wrong with the design. It looked dated, it looked old, but with the Pixel 5, it looks like a very modern device, and this is something that you could use for a couple years and still have it look pretty modern. It's a 6-inch panel that gives you enough screen real estate that if you are commuting, watching YouTube videos while you're on the couch, whatever you're doing, it's enough screen real estate that you're not squinting your eyes. It's actually a really decent amount, and I like it too because it is a light phone, so again, you can watch hours and hours of JabberTech YouTube videos and your finger's not going to get fatigued, so I do like that. Google decided to put an in-screen speaker on the top here for your earpiece, and it is something that I do like it because it does overall give us a nicer looking phone on the front. Most of the sound comes from this bottom speaker, so let me give you a little bit of an example. On the box again, the MyTV Online 2 application is Formula's own IPTV application. It's one of the best in the business because you can time shift, because you can pause live TV. Go grab that snack. You know what they say, life's about to end if you want. So most of the sound does come from the bottom, so you don't get that true full stereo goodness that you would if you had a traditional earpiece at the top. But again, I don't mind it because it gives us a more modern looking device, and most of the times I use a Bluetooth headset. Most of the times when I'm around town, I notice most people use a headset as well. And for call quality, no issues with call quality. I've had no problems listening to someone, even though I didn't have an actual cutout. The 765G processor in the Pixel 5 also does a really good job. There's no time where it lags, there's no time where it stutters. There's no time where you think there's a hamster inside powering up the Pixel 5. It's a very fast, very smooth experience, and I'm really happy with the 765G. I think they did an awesome job. I think they did a really nice job putting in a power-friendly processor while still giving people enough power to do everyday tasks, and that's what it comes down to with the Pixel 5. This is an everyday task, everyday type of phone. So in those terms, the Pixel 5 is a powerhouse for everyday usage. I think they did a really nice job, especially considering the battery life that you get out of the Pixel 5. I'm really impressed with the Google Pixel 5's battery life. This is something that I usually get a day and a half on based on my usage. I don't have Wi-Fi on, I keep LTE 5G on, I keep Bluetooth on, I keep location on, I keep NFC on. Anything I can turn on, I turn on because I want to enjoy the phone. I want to use the phone for how I want to use it personally. A lot of people might use Wi-Fi more often and then post their screenshots of their battery life, and you see some amazing stats. But again, Wi-Fi takes a lot less battery than 5G does, than 4G LTE does. So for me, that's my baseline. Everything's on. I'm not on Wi-Fi. That's not just something that I do. So after a couple months of using this phone, here are the stats from Google from my Pixel 5. Fully charged, I get about a day and 15 hours, and that's something I really like. Screen usage so far is about an hour and 29. I usually manage I'd say about 3 hours. That's usually typical of what I get. Google also included something else with the newest Pixel drop as well, and that's adaptive charging. If you set an alarm, if you set a timer on your phone to wake you up at say 7 a.m. and you plug in your phone, it's going to trickle charge your phone so that it doesn't get overcharged overnight. Again, I think that's something super awesome, and I actually just tried it the other day. So as you're sleeping, it does kind of fast charge it up to a certain point and then to trickle charge the rest of it. So again, Google's always thinking on ways to improve the Google Pixel experience, and that's what it's all about. It's about the Pixel experience. And the Pixel experience just keeps getting better and better. Now, I did a full review on the Pixel 5. If you want to know more about it, I'll leave a link down below. But overall, guys, I'm super impressed with the Google Pixel 5. I keep coming back to the Pixel line because it is a clean interface. It is super clean. And you do get updates on the regular. 3 years of updates from Google. I'm going to be the first on the block to get the latest OS release from Google. And that makes me smile. It also makes me smile, quite honestly, guys, are the regular Pixel drops as well. When's the last time you heard of a manufacturer actually improving upon a device that they've released? Most of the times manufacturers put everything in one device, and they might give you updates here and there to kind of fix some bugs or whatnot, but it's very rare that a manufacturer will actually include new enhancements, new features to their device. With Google, I see them doing that on a regular basis thanks to those Pixel drops. And the latest Pixel drop actually included something that I really enjoy, I really like, because it helps on battery life. Now, adaptive connectivity is something I'm glad Google decided to add. This is something that's been in other phones before, which is a true statement. But when's the last time you heard of a manufacturer actually going back to the drawing board and giving us new features? And that's what Google does with the Pixel drop. It might not be new in terms of the tech, but it is new for the actual device. So if that makes sense to you guys, they're actually improving the Pixel 5 and the Pixel 4a as time continues. And with adaptive connectivity, it'll switch off 5G and go back to LTE when you don't need it. That's going to save a bunch of battery life. Now, what I like about the Pixel device personally is that the camera is where it's at. The camera is still the best in the game, in my opinion. When you open up the camera application, you press that shutter button, you know that you're getting a shot that's going to look exactly like what you're taking a photo of. So I really like the camera application, and it might take a little bit of time to process the photo that you've just taken because it doesn't have the fastest processor in here, but that doesn't make any difference. You can just keep snapping and taking a bunch of photos, and it's going to process in the background. So that's not really a concern. By the time you open up your camera, most of the times this is done. I personally would like to see a return of the groupie lens, that wide-angle lens for those selfie shots. I think that was a great addition in previous Pixels, so I'd like to see that make a return. But as someone who doesn't take a whole bunch of selfies, that's not really my concern. That's not really something that would make me not buy the Pixel 5. These cameras on the back are the reason that I pick up the Pixel 5 every single time I want to take a shot. Every single time I want to take a shot that's going to come out the way I think it should. So the camera definitely is where it's at. And then the final things I want to mention about the Google Pixel 5, I'm having a blast with it. I really like the size. I think Google should have released two, a regular and a large. For those people that like to keep a tablet in their pocket, they could have got a larger Pixel 5 XL. But that might be coming in the future. But anyway, guys, the Pixel 5 as it stands, as it is an awesome device, and I really enjoy using it. The best part about the Google Pixel 5, and I've done a full review, so if you want to see the full review, I'll leave a link down below. But I do have to mention it again because this has saved so many hours of my life. Robocalls are just getting insane these days. No joke, I'd get about 10 to 20 calls a day, but now thanks to the Pixel 5, I don't even have to worry about that. Going into my spam and call screen options, I actually have these options all turned on. So if it's a number that Google knows is spam, it's going to automatically screen. If it's a fake number, we've all seen that. It's your number plus a couple extra, it's automatically going to screen it. First time callers, sorry, if it's a first time caller, you're getting screened as well. And if you try and hide your number, you're getting screened then too. Basically, what all this means is that my phone doesn't even ring. If it's a robocaller, if it's a spam caller, my Google Assistant picks up, and if it's something that I really need to pay attention to, I can see a live transcript and I can decide whether or not I want to pick up that phone call. And another great feature is, if you're really busy and you just don't have time to answer a phone call, like you're doing a YouTube video, you have the option to set that caller to your call screen. So I can have my call screen turn on for that phone call and actually just read the transcript and see if I want to stop recording my video in order to take a phone call. So that's something that I really like as well. Another great feature about phone calls is the hold for me option. So basically, if you call a business, you know they try and put you on hold. You can actually put them on hold and let your Google Assistant alert you when someone human actually comes on the line. Another dropped feature that came to us from Google is adaptive sound, and I use this on my Pixel Buds and it actually does really work. On the Pixel Buds and on the phone now, basically it's gonna take a little sample of your ambient sound around you and then it's gonna increase the volume based on that sound. And when you get to a quieter environment, it's going to lower the volume so you don't have to do anything at all. This is useful on Pixel Buds when you do go on the train, when you are in mass transportation and it's a little louder. It'll increase the volume, and then when you get above ground and start walking on the street, it's going to decrease the volume just a little bit. Again, doing everything automatically for you, and the concept is the same with adaptive sound. If you're in a louder environment, it's going to make the speaker sound a little bit louder, and when you're at home, for example, if you're just on the couch or whatever, it's going to just lower the volume automatically. So I haven't been somewhere super loud for obvious reasons lately, but I am excited to use that. But that's a feature, again, that Google's just added onto the Pixel phone. When you buy a Pixel, it's never it is what it is type of deal. You're always going to get some sort of enhancement, some sort of gift from Google that's going to come in the form of those Pixel drops. That's all I want to mention about the Pixel 5 all these months later. I think it's still an awesome device. This is a device I can recommend highly if you're looking for a new phone. If you're looking for a phone without the gimmicks, if you're looking for a phone that just works, that's just an awesome device, the Pixel 5 is for you. The Pixel 5 is my daily driver still, and it's going to be my daily driver for the foreseeable future. I don't have myself wanting for anything with the Pixel 5. Everything is there, so I'm super happy with it. But I'd like to know your opinion as well. Is there a feature missing on the Pixel 5 that made you skip on it? Is there something that you wish Google had put in? Let me know down in the comments below. But as always, I really appreciate you guys watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.